Welcome back, everyone, to the Popcorn Podcast. I am Tommy Cresta, and beside me is no one today. It's just me, and I'm going to be doing a quick Tommy's Corner today. And this is not our Popcorn Oscars episode. This is just my little. Just want to get my choice out because Ryan's mic is still broken. For those who don't remember, from our Dune spoiler review, we had to use. It was kind of weird how we had to do the audio. So before the Oscars actually premiered, I want to give my choices really quick off my Vanity Fair ballot that I filled out, and just give my choices. And this is who I think's going to win, not who I want to win. Because then when we do the popcorn Oscars, I'm going to pick who I wanted to win. So this is just my quick rundown of my choices for the 96th Annual Academy Awards. And we're going to start from documentary short, work our way up, and then we'll get to the big five, and then we'll finish off, of course, with Best Picture. So for documentary short, I actually only watched The Barber of Little Rock, The Last Repair Shop. So I have a very short choice list of what I think is going to win, but I really like The Barber of Little Rock. I watched it last week, and I thought it was really good. And I love documentaries, so I'm a sucker for those, and I love to watch all the shorts for the Academy Awards. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with The Barber of Little Rock for this one. And then moving on quickly to our live action short, I only watched one of these so far, and that was Night of Fortune. So I'm going to pick Night of Fortune. But when we do the Popcorn Oscars, maybe I'll have a different answer. For animated short, I believe that The War Is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko, is going to win. I think just having the Beatles associated to it. And we see a lot of times when famous people come and they have a short or documentary or something else like that, they do tend to win, and it tends to be because it's really good. So I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be the winner of the night, but I do want to watch Letter to a Pig and Our Uniform. So I'll get back to you guys when we do the Popcorn Oscars with a more detailed look into all of the shorts. And yeah. So moving on now to the full feature-length awards. First one is visual effects, and the nominees were The Creator, Godzilla Minus One, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. What I think's going to win? I think it's either going to come down to The Creator or Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But what I want to win is Godzilla Minus One. So I did pick Godzilla Minus One. I do think it can win. And I think it's kind of like a dark horse in this category. And I think it deserved more nomination than what we ended up getting. Moving on from there, we're going into sound. The nominees for sound are The Creator again, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and finally, The Zone of Interest. So I think all of these films had great sound design, even though Maestro is probably my least favorite on this list. And Zone of Interest, you wouldn't think about it when you're like, oh, it's just a small Jonathan Glazer film about just a Nazi family, but it had some incredible sound design. This is sound design, right? I'm not making this up. Yeah, sound design. And it was so different and unique that I do think it could, again, sneak past, but I feel like we all know who's going to be the big winner of this year's Academy Awards, which is going to be Oppenheimer. So again, I think Oppenheimer is going to win this award, so I did pick it for my sound. It could win single-handedly off the first test when it goes dead silent and you just get the ringing, and all of a sudden the aftershock, the explosion happens, and you finally hear it and all that kind of stuff. It was just incredible, and the stomping your feet scene when they're all celebrating. I just think it had some incredible moments, especially in the sound editing process. Going into production design, the nominees were Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. This is a tight category. I think people are underestimating how close this category is going to be. Because with Barbie, they had the entire plastic world in Barbie Land, which was incredible. And the fact that it was all really there, you could touch it. It was painted pink, and it was a shortage of pink in the world because pink paint because of Barbie it's crazy to me. And it looked incredible. Killers of the Flower Moon, I mean, the whole town and everything they created looked incredible. Napoleon, I mean, Ridley Scott's a king of production design. Sorry, that's my basement. I had to record in my basement today because the studio was not available today. So I had to record in my basement and by myself. But going back to what I was saying, Killers of the Flower Moon, again, it's a Martin Scorsese film. Every single one of his is going to have production design. And I think I was actually talking about Napoleon. But yeah, Ridley Scott is a king of production design, as we've seen with Gladiator, The Last Duel, any of his other big films, Alien. So I think there's a chance Napoleon could walk out with an Academy Award. But Oppenheimer, you still have to deal with those production designs of the town that they legitimately built for the film. And then what I think is going to win is Poor Things. Poor Things took us into this semi-realistic world with these crazy designs, coloring, the different types of trains, vehicles, buildings, all this kind of stuff, and actual alleyways and all that. It was just a really unique looking place, and I think that might carry to its Academy Award. So I'm going to pick Poor Things for production design, and I think it's a solid pick. I think it's going to come down to that, and outside of that, I think Barbie should probably win, but I think it's anyone's game in production design as well. For makeup and hairstyling, the nominees were Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of the Snow. I have to go with Maestro here because Bradley Cooper had all that makeup and hairstyling, all that done on him. So, I mean, I don't think there's a chance anyone else can win this category. I think it's going to go to him. And if not, I think Poor Things is probably the number two. But yeah, I'm going to go with Maestro. Moving on to editing, we have Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. The Holdovers has it does have good editing, but it's very simple. Anatomy of the Fall, again, great editing. And I think this award does come down to Anatomy of the Fall and Oppenheimer. And I just think Oppenheimer is the big winner of this awards. I think it could pull Return of the King and just win everything. So I think it could break the record tomorrow night. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with Oppenheimer's with the choice I think that's gonna win this year. Going to costume design now, a category that me and my family, we do the ballot every year, me and my family. And costume design is always a big one for us because it's the one that my sisters, of course, like. My brother and me love to look in all how like they designed everything. And this is probably the category I get right the most. So I think I've done pretty good this and the next category. Actually, I think these next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, these next 8 categories are probably the ones I'm strongest at. So we'll see if I can keep my stride going. So for costume design, the nominees were Poor Things, Oppenheimer, Napoleon, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Barbie. For Poor Things, we saw the amazing dresses, the Emma Stone, all the girls were wearing, the amazing suits that the guys were wearing. So, of course, their costumes were great. Then we go to Oppenheimer. They had to put themselves into that time period, into the 40s, into the 30s, and all this stuff into the 60s. I think they eventually go in the end. But Killers of the Flower Moon, they had to do the amazing costume design to again put you back into that period, give the Osage people the correct outfits and uniforms that they're wearing. Napoleon, they had to make all the soldiers in the correct outfits. Vanessa Kirby's dresses were again beautiful. And then finally, Poor Things. Not Poor Things, Barbie. I think Barbie has this one in the bag. The amazing, amazing outfits that every single one of the Barbies wear. All of Ken's amazing outfits. And just all the costumes throughout for every single character. Kate McKinnon as a crazy Barbie and all those kind of things. So I think Barbie is going to pull out a costume design Oscar. Next category is cinematography. El Conde, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Again, this is one of those ones where there's a difference between what I wanted to win, what I want to win, and what I think's going to win. So El Conde had very good cinematography. Killers of the Flower Moon had fantastic cinematography. Everyone's talking about the shot with the fire, which me and Ryan both agree might have been a little too long. Should have trimmed it down a little bit, but it's an amazing shot. Maestro, good cinematography. Oppenheimer's fantastic, and Poor Things was fantastic because Poor Things did different camera lenses and all this stuff. I know Ryan was bothered by the fisheye lens that they do use throughout the film, but I really liked it. So I think the winner though is Oppenheimer. Just the visuals that Christopher Nolan got through this film were fantastic. So I don't know. Killers of the Flower Moon could win. I'm gonna stick with Oppenheimer with what the one I think that's going to win. But then when we do the popcorn Oscar, I'll give my personal opinions. Excuse me. And next is original song. We have The Fire Inside from Flaming Hot, I'm Just Ken from Barbie, It Never Went Away from American Symphony, Wahazahi, it's the song for my people, it's from Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm so sorry if I pronounce it wrong, I'm an idiot. And then, of course, What Was I Made For from Barbie by Billie Eilish and Phineas. I think we all know who's winning this award. I think it's What Was I Made For. It's won every award at every show so far. I just don't think anyone can beat it. It's an amazing song, and if you haven't listened to it because you're either what's the term? Oh yeah, if you're sexist or anything like that, like you should go listen to it because it's a pretty good song. Billie Eilish and Phineas are two of the best songwriters and musicians working right now. I love Phineas's solo projects. I love Billie Eilish's music. So I don't think anyone can beat them for original song. For original score, the nominees were American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Every single one of these movies had a great score. American Fiction, it was a fantastic movie all around. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, it was just John Williams' score for all the other Indiana Jones movies. Killers of the Flower Moon, which had a really, really cool drum beat score. Um, Oppenheimer, which is not Johansson, fantastic. And of course, Poor Things. I don't know who did Poor Things score, but again, another really it fit into that weird world. So yeah, I think Oppenheimer is going to take it because Oppenheimer's score was amazing and it was just an all around amazing movie. Oppenheimer's going to be picked a lot on this list, so if you don't want to hear me talk about Oppenheimer a lot, you should probably just skip a little bit. But moving on from that is documentary feature. The nominees were Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, Four Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, and 20 Days in Mariupol. I had To Kill a Tiger. Again, it's the only one I've seen so far. So I am going to try and watch more of them before I do the Popcorn Oscars. But yeah, I like To Kill a Tiger. I love documentaries. I'm a sucker. So yeah, I'm going to have To Kill a Tiger winning, but I could have a different choice tomorrow. But that's the one I'm going to have marked down because it's the only one I've seen so far. And then here we go into another category that I love, and this is animated feature. The nominees were The Boy and the Heron, Elemental. What was that one? Pneumonia, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Oh, my mother's texting me. Yeah, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think I said that, but I think The Boy and the Heron is going to win. Miyazaki's last film. I think they're going to go all in and be like this. It's kind of a legacy one, but it also is an amazing, amazing movie. Miyazaki doesn't miss, and yeah, it's gonna come down to what if they're trying to give him like a legacy one at the end of his career, or because if not, I think Spider-Verse will win. But I think they are going to go with The Boy and the Heron. International feature, we have Lo Capitano, Perfect Days, The Society of the Snow, The Teacher's Lounge, and The Zone of Interest. I think we all know what's going to win because there's only one film of those that is also nominated for Best Picture, and that is The Zone of Interest. Another amazing film. Jonathan Glazer did an amazing job. Sandra Huller was incredible. And I think it probably might still be the best international film. Society of Snow was an incredible film as well by Netflix. But I think Zone of Interest, it is also the only one nominated for Best Picture, so it does make it a little easier to figure out which one's going to win. Now here we go. We're getting into the final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The big 8. I know it's the big 5, but the final 8 are all huge categories. And this is adapted screenplay. The nominees were American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. And adapted screenplay. So this is a tough one because American Fiction's writing was so well done. Barbie's, again, was so well written. It was very funny. It was heartbreaking. It was heartwarming. It was all these things. Oppenheimer's, the whole movie, you're hanging on every word that's written, every word that's spoken. Poor Things, I love the dialogue. Again, it was a very fun fish out of water story and a very different take on the fish out of water story. And then finally, we have the Zone of Zone of Interest. Zone of Interest, as I said, is an amazing film. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's a very powerful story. But I think just going down the same path as we've been on all episodes so far, I think Oppenheimer just has it. I don't think Oppenheimer can get beat. I think it's going to win a lot of these awards. And I didn't say it's my favorite adapted screenplay, but I think it's the one that is going to pull in the most awards. Moving on from that, we go into original screenplay, another category that we love. And this is Anatomy of the Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. Again, this is different than what I want to win. This is what I think is going to win. I think that The Holdovers written dialogue is incredible. Maestro's was very good. May December, again, very good. Past Lives, fantastic. One of the best of the year. I just think Anatomy of the Fall is going to get the votes. And I think Anatomy of the Fall is one of the best, most well-written films of the last couple of years. So I think Anatomy of the Fall is going to win original screenplay. Now we move in to no, it's not the big five. I guess the big five is part of that. But we're moving into the acting categories now. We'll start off with actor in a supporting role. The nominees were Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr., Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling, Barbie, Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. So starting from the bottom, I think Mark Ruffalo gave a very good performance. He was actually probably my least favorite part of the movie, though, which I know is very against what everyone else is saying. But to me, I didn't love the whole character. And it wasn't Mark Ruffalo's performance, I think it was just the character itself. Ryan Gosling as Barbie, he had a lot of momentum coming into the when the awards were first getting brought out. But he's kind of lost some of that. And I still think he did really well. I loved him as Ken. There was no one else you're going to pick. Robert Downey Jr., of course, was fantastic in Oppenheimer. He's won the majority of awards. And I think it's going to be hard for him to get beat. But these other two actors also, Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon. He's Robert De Niro. He has a chance. The dude's he's got a boxer's chance. One punch could change it all for him. And then Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction was my favorite part of that movie. He was hilarious as the gay brother and the cokehead and all this stuff. But he wasn't like addicted to coke. He was just having fun and he was just crazy. But he was the best. He was my favorite part. But I think the winner is going to be Robert Downey Jr. I think he just has so much momentum going into this award, and I think this is his year. I think he's going to take home the Academy Award. Now we have actress in a supporting role. We have Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, American Ferrara, Barbie, Jodie Foster, Nyad, and Davine Joy Randolph, The Holdovers. I think everyone knows who my choice is. It's going to be the same for the popcorn Oscar as it is for this. Davine Joy Randolph gave the top 5 performance of the year. She was amazing. She was hilarious. She made me cry. She made me laugh. She was just fantastic. And I'm so excited because I really do think she's also going to win. I think everyone in this category did a great job. I just think Davine Joy Randolph has the momentum. She's winning. She's amazing. People love her. So yeah, that's who I'm sticking with for actress in a supporting role. The next category is actor in a leading role. We have Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. I think all of these actors could win the award. I think any one of them could win, but who I think's going to win is Cillian Murphy. Again, he just has the momentum right now. I didn't say he's my choice to win, but I think he's the person that's going to win. So I think Cillian Murphy will win for Oppenheimer. I think he just has that momentum. I think the film has all the momentum going into this award show. And I think it's Oppenheimer's awards to lose. So yeah, Cillian Murphy for actor in a leading role. Now we move to our final acting category of the day. This is actress in a leading role. We have Annette Bening, Nyad, Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller, Anatomy of the Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. I think this award's come down to 3 actresses right now. I think it's down to Lily Gladstone, Sandra Huller, Emma Stone. And I can make an argument for all 3 of them. Lily Gladstone, I think I had her in my top 5, top 6, top 8 performances of the year. I don't remember exactly where she was, but I know she was up there. Sandra Huller is in my top 10 performance of the year. She was incredible in Anatomy of the Fall. She was also incredible in The Zone of Interest. She has 2 of the best films of the year under her belt. She's an amazing actress, and I think she has a chance. I really do. And then I think Emma Stone for Poor Things. Of course, Emma's already won an Academy Award. She's already one of the most talented actresses working in Hollywood right now. And I think Poor Things really let her show off her acting chops in a very unique way, especially in the Academy Awards eyes. So for that, I'm going to stick with my gut. I have Emma Stone winning this year. I think it's going to really come down to her and Lily Gladstone, but I do think Sandra Huller could also win. But I think it's Emma Stone or Lily Gladstone. I think it's probably 40-40 for them, and then 20% chance that Sandra Huller wins it. I'm sorry, Annette Bening and Carey Mulligan. You guys were both fantastic, but don't think that you guys are going to win. And then for Best Director, we have Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Justin Triet, Anatomy of the Fall. Justin Triet, she did a fantastic job with Anatomy of the Fall. Martin Scorsese, one of the greatest directors of all time, probably the greatest living director working right now. For Killers of the Flower Moon, did an amazing job. And Yorgos Lanthimos is one of my favorite directors right now. He did The Lobster and he's done Poor Things. So he's given me two great films I love. I think he's also done Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is also another fantastic movie. And then Jonathan Glazer, I talked about The Zone of Interest. Stunning movie, some of the best direction of the year. But again, it doesn't. These movies don't have the heat right now. They don't have the momentum going into the awards. It's Christopher Nolan. He's gonna win. It's gonna be his first Best Director. It's gonna be an amazing moment. I'm very excited for him, and I really truly think it's like a 95% chance that Nolan wins. And then moving to our final category, this is Best Picture, and the nominees were American Fiction, Anatomy of the Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. And I think though I like this is probably the best picture list that I've seen in a while, the last couple of years, because they actually used up all the slots, and I think every single one of these films deserve to be here. And American Fiction, amazing. Anatomy of the Fall, amazing. Barbie, amazing. The Holdovers, great. Killers of the Flower Moon, great. Maestro, even though I don't think Maestro, does really. It wasn't in my best pictures discussion, but I can see why other people do have it there. Oppenheimer, Past Lives, which was my favorite movie of the year, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. All these movies were incredible in their own unique ways. None of them were aligned the same. They were all done very differently and in their own. They had their own sense of humor. They had their own drama. They had their own depressing moments, sad moments. I think all these movies did a great job in their own way. But I can't pick all of them for the winner of this year's Best Picture at the 96 Academy Awards. So my choice for this year is, of course, I've said it all episode, I'm sorry, and that is going to be Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan. It's going to have all the momentum. It's an amazing movie. It's a once in a generation movie to me. It's fantastic. It's so well made. I think it needs to be seen by people because I don't think enough people know the story, and it's such an important story in U.S. history. And so, yeah, I truly think Oppenheimer is going to take home a lot of awards, including Best Director, Best Picture, Adapted Screenplay, Actor in a Leading Role. So it's going to win a lot of awards, and I think people need to be ready for that. But yeah, there are my choices for the 96th Annual Academy Awards. Me and Ryan will be back, and we'll do our Popcorn Oscars, the third annual Popcorn Oscars. We'll pick our winners of these awards. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode. I'm Tommy. Make sure to continue liking, subscribing, downloading, sharing all of our episodes. Share our TikToks. Thank you guys for the support of our Land of Bad TikTok, which I think is at 15,000 views right now. A couple hundred likes, which is great for us. Thank you guys for everything you've done to make this show continue to happen. And yeah, make sure to follow us on our socials at Ryan's is Ferran12. Mine's Tommy_Cresta. The podcast is the_popcorn_podcast. And our TikTok is the popcorn_pod. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we will see you in the next episode, which I do believe is going to be the Popcorn Oscars.